Welcome to a continuation of solving right triangles using trig, page 4 of Unit 7 notes. Here we have two examples. The first one is says find the perimeter of a rectangle MNOP, shown below, right here, and round to the nearest tenth if necessary. So first things first, we have to kind of recap what is perimeter and what we need to find the perimeter. Now remember, perimeter is a distance around. Okay, so perimeter is distance around, and we need to know the length and the width in order to solve. So how do we find the perimeter? Well, we add up all of the sides around the figure. So the length, the width, the length, and the other width. Or 2 times the length, since with a rectangle it's going to be the same. Whatever the length is here and whatever the length is here, it's going to be the same, right? This is also y, and this is also x. So we can really just say 2x plus 2y, or 2 times our length plus 2 times our width will give us our perimeter. So this is kind of different, though, because we're given the diagonal, and we have an angle measurement, but we don't know any of the sides, right? So in order to find the other sides, we have to use trig functions. So just as we did yesterday, we're going to start with the angle that we have, right? We have that this is 30 degrees, okay? We're looking for the opposite, and we're looking for the adjacent of this angle, and we're given the hypotenuse. So we're going to have to set up two different equations, one for x and one for y. So you can start wherever you want to. I'm going to solve for x first. So maybe we can even make two different things here. Solve for x and solve for y. When it comes to solving for x, we're talking about the side that's opposite, and we're given the hypotenuse. So once again, type out SOHCAHTOA, and which of our trig functions deal with an opposite, or O and H? Well, that's so, right? So I know I'm going to take the sine of the angle, always of the angle, of 30, equals the opposite side, which is x, over the hypotenuse, which is 11, right? Okay, now, like I said, we can put this over 1 in order to create a proportion and to cross multiply. Okay, so I'm going to cross multiply, and when I do so, I have sine of 30 times 11 equals x, right? Equals x. So what do I have to do? Well, like I said, you can either take your calculator out, or you can take out decimals. So I'm going to come to decimals here, and I'm going to type in, or you can go to functions, sine of 30 times 11. Now, Miss Cullen, already went to my wrench before this, and I made sure to go to degrees. Make sure, normally you start at radians. If you get a negative number, you should know that that's not correct, because distance, length, cannot be a negative number. So you need to change this to degrees, and you'll get 5.5. Okay, so you're going to come back, and you know that x equals 5.5. Okay, which means this side equals 5.5, and so does this side. Awesome. Okay, now I'm going to follow a similar process to solve for y. I'm looking at y, and my y is my adjacent side. So I'm looking for my adjacent over my hypotenuse. That's ca or cosine. And I'm going to set up the same thing. I'm going to take the cosine of the angle. We always do it of the angle equals y adjacent over hypotenuse. And my hypotenuse is 11. Same thing, I can put this over 1, and I can cross multiply. So I have cosine of 30 times 11 equals y. Y equals and I'm going to do the same thing, come back to decimals, type that in. Cosine of 30 times 11 equals 9.5. So I know that my y equals 9.5. Now, I can either type in 9.5 plus 9.5 plus 5.5 plus 5.5 all in my calculator, or I can type in P equals 2 times 5.5 plus 2 times 9.5 and get a perimeter of 30. Okay, so here's a great real-life example of when we can use trig functions.